Hello people, this is Sonali, the Melodramatic Bookworm. If you've been here before, welcome back, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to the Melodramatic Bookworm family. We are nearing the end of November and of Nonfiction November. Of course, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't read nonfiction during other months. It's just that I wanted to talk about the books that I'm still excited about, that are still on my TBR, the nonfiction books. And I made a list. I have about 91 nonfiction books on my TBR. There are some of these 91 books that I'm really excited to read. I don't have physical copies of many of these books because they are back home in India, but I do have some e-copies of some physical copies that I have there. But I do have some copies, as you've seen in the thumbnail, and I'm really excited to get started on them. I wanted to do a 5 nonfiction books still on my TBR kind of thing at the end of Nonfiction November and all of that, but I know I won't be able to limit it to 5, so I'm just going to go with the flow. And let me list out to you all the nonfiction books on my TBR that I'm really excited about. There are more, but these are some that I'm really excited about. A quick disclaimer that this is not a TBR that I'm making for myself. This is a list of nonfiction books from my TBR with the books that I own that I'm really excited to read. That's all. I'm not back to making monthly TBRs or anything. First is Agatha Christie and Autobiography, obviously by Agatha Christie. Agatha Christie is one of my favorite authors of all time, and I want to know what happened in her life because her life was eventful. I just want to know what it is. Like, I bought this book about 2-3 years ago and I still haven't gotten around to it, but I really want to. I want to know what happened in the life of one of my favorite authors of all time. Next, An Era of Darkness, The British Empire in India by Shashi Tharoor. Shashi Tharoor is a master of words, and I want to know what he thinks about the British Empire in India. If you have missed it, he did a great speech in the House of Commons in which he talked about Britain owing reparations to India, and that sort of made me think that I would love to read a book by this guy talking about the British Empire and what they did. And at that point in time, this is an old video, I didn't know that he had written such a book. And when I came to know, I immediately added it to my TBR. I had an e-copy, then I got a physical copy. But now that I'm not in India and I'm in Sydney, I'm going to go back to reading the e-copy. We are like this only. Next is Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. This is Trevor Noah's memoir in which he talks about his life growing up in South Africa and how he made his way to America after that. And I think he talks about his early life, his relationship with his family, and everything that they went through in South Africa. And I've heard that this is a very hard-hitting memoir. This is one book that I had the physical copy of, but then I lent it to my brother. It's with him right now, and so I went and got the e-copy so that I can read it. Next is A Short History of Nearly Everything by Bill Bryson. Bill Bryson is a funny writer. He writes travelogues and he talks about places he's been to and his experiences over there, and he writes in such a comic manner, I mean subtly comic, which will make you laugh. And if he's writing about a short history of nearly everything and he's given it to me in a nutshell, I'm all for it. I don't have the copy again, but I really want to read it. I think that's the thing that happens when you don't have a book. That's when you want to read it the most. Next is Big Magic, Creative Living Beyond Fear by Elizabeth Gilbert. This is a book that I want to read because I want to bring back that creativity. Like, at one point I was in the throes. I wanted to do everything in this whole wide world. I had so many ideas, but now somehow it feels like that spirit has dimmed. So I'm really hoping that Elizabeth Gilbert will be able to help me do something about it. She'll be able to help me with it. I was hoping to have read it in Nonfiction November this year, but I didn't get around to it. Hopefully soon. Next is Why Men Rape: An Indian Undercover Investigation by Tara Kaushal. Tara Kaushal is a journalist, I think, and she has done this whole, as the title mentions, undercover investigation into, I think there's a group of interviews in which she asks around about these questions. I know it's going to be hard hitting. Again, physical copy back home in India, I don't have it. Maybe e-copy this time. Next is Writing Badly is Easy by Amitav Kumar, and I brought this book because I wanted it to help me make my writing into something better. Because as the title says, writing badly is easy, but writing well, writing beautifully takes effort, takes work, and I want to put in that work because I have like tens of thousands of manuscripts and ideas, it feels like, that are still waiting there, that I still left them over there. But yeah, now that it reminds me, I shouldn't panic. Okay, it's a style guide for those who want to write well, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. Next is Know My Name by Chanel Miller. Chanel Miller was sexually assaulted by Brock Turner on the Stanford campus. I think this was way back, I don't remember the year, but he was not sentenced to much. I think he was sentenced to 6 months in jail or something, and she was known as Emily Doe. And now in this book she reclaims her name, and she tells her story about how everything came to be. And I mean, just talking about it is breaking my heart, and I've heard that this is a book that will just leave you dragged. Next is a book whose name is pretty explanatory, and that is Daughters of the Sun: Empresses, Queens and Begums of the Mughal Empire by Ira Mukhoti. And this is a book that was recommended to me by a friend, and she has been saying that for so many years, it feels like, but I've never been able to muster the courage to read that book. I don't know why. I have no explanation for it. This is one non-fiction that I'm really excited to read because of what it is about, plus because of the person that the recommendation came for, because that friend, she reads a variety of books within Indian literature, and it's a great thing that she recommended a book with such intensity. But it's bad that I haven't yet picked it up, and now I don't even have the physical copy. E-copy, here I come. Next is Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. Again, no physical copy back in India, but this is one book that I bought because I wanted to correct my sleep schedule. My sleep schedule is garbage. Because of that, my first thought was, you correct your sleep cycle, maybe everything will fall into place. I want to turn to this book for help. It's like, please tell me how I can actually do what I need to do. I mean, you'll tell me what I need to do, but I also need to be able to do what you tell me what I need to do. Does that make it clear, or have I just confused everyone? I don't know, but this is one book that's on my TBR that I need to read. Next is Indian Summer: The Secret History of the End of an Empire by Alex von Tunzelman, and this is a non-fiction set around the Indian independence and partition, and it talks about, as the cover suggests, the Mountbattens and Nehru and all the decisions that came about during that time. And I've also heard that this reads like a thriller. This was a high recommendation, and I think it's still ongoing. It's an ongoing recommendation from Jyotsna from Jyotsna's Bookscapades. I bought it immediately after I heard her speak about it, and I haven't been able to read it since. It's there back in India, my copy, but I haven't been able to read it. And let me see if I can get an e-copy. Like, I've said this about so many books, and I'll probably say this about many other books in this video, but I honestly want to read this book. Next is Coming Out As Dalit by Yashika Dutt. This is Yashika Dutt's memoir about her experiences as a Dalit person in India, and about how people's reaction changes when they learn that she is a Dalit woman. I had an e-copy, then I bought a hardcover, and then I came here, and now I'm with the e-copy. But I'm still looking forward to reading this, and hopefully I'll read it soon, because I think someone asked me to read it and talk about it. It was on their TBR as well. So maybe I'll try to fast forward. I'm not sure if that will happen, but I'll try to fast forward reading this book. Next is Dreyer's English, An Utterly Correct Guide to Clarity and Style by Benjamin Dreyer, and I actually need this. This is the other book that I was talking about, which I really want to read and which I really want to implement what it says to my writing, because I have like 10 million thousand, that's not how it works, 10,000 million works in progress and 10,000 million other ideas that I want to implement, but I simply can't bring myself to, because I feel like I'm in a writing slump. If I am able to use this to better my writing, then the world looks a little bit more beautiful. So let's see. Next is 3 Guineas by Virginia Woolf. This is the sequel of sorts to A Room of One's Own. I have the book with me in India. Like, it was an omnibus. It had A Room of One's Own as well as 3 Guineas, but I couldn't bring it. So I'm going to go get the e-copy, or maybe it's Virginia Woolf. Maybe the library will have it. I don't know what 3 Guineas is about. I know what A Room of One's Own was about because I've read it and I'm in love with that book, but let's see how this one goes. Virginia Woolf, maybe it would be a good thing or very fitting to start off 2023 with as well. So maybe a reflection of, oh no, but we don't want 2023 to be like 2022. We want it to be different. We want it to be better. That's a dilemma right there. Next is The Second Sex by Simone de Beauvoir. And I have this book back home in India. It's a brick, as you know. It's this thick. I was hoping that I would be able to sit back, annotate, tab everything, but now that's not happening, to that copy at least, because it's there, it's back there. But I really want to read it, yeah. I don't know if I will take like weeks and months to read it. I don't care how long I take, but I really wanted to read it. But I don't have it. What should I do? Yet Simone de Beauvoir is one of the most prominent feminists of the 20th century, of all time for that matter. I should have read it by now, but better late than never, as they say. But I really want to find out what she is saying in that book. So let's see how it goes. If I get my hands on the book, that would be great. Again, back to the library. So those were the non-fiction books that are still on my TBR that I'm really excited to read. Which of these books have you read? Which ones do you want to read? What non-fiction books do you want? Would you recommend to me? What did you read in Nonfiction November? Did you go forward and participate in Nonfiction November? Which is your favorite non-fiction book of all time? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, please like it and share it to spread the word. And if you like my content and would like to see more from me, don't forget to hit subscribe and click on the bell icon beside the subscribe button to get notified as and when I post new videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, keep reading, keep watching, and add melodrama to your life.